Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday night live stream on the Wimbo Formula F1 channel. How is everybody doing? I see the chat's been really busy already, and it's all women and Tanveer. Very good. So let's start with saying hello to everybody who is here. Hello, Tanveer. Hello, Gentilis. Hello, Eva. Hello, Samantha. Hello, Christina. Eva? I already said Eva. And Marie said she set her alarm. So she should be coming in momentarily. Yeah, so you're talking about Drive to Survive. Um, Last year we took Netflix for like a couple of months just to watch a couple of shows that we still needed to watch and Drive to Survive. But you know how it goes in a family. You forget about things, and then we actually kept it about 3 months too long. And with Netflix being like €20 a month now to get it in all our rooms, with the kids included. Um, yeah, I decided not to do that this year, just to watch a DTS. So I found another way to do it. Hey, Inge is back after months and months. Inge Wolbes, our darts fan, is back to our live stream. Good to see. But yeah. As far as I'm concerned, they can stop making DTS. But I don't have to watch it. I'll finish this season and then I'll leave it to people that still like it. So I just want to point out that I'm wearing my lollipop, my Lollipop Man T-shirt, because I landed another couple of lines of text in the upcoming Lollipop Man video about the season start. And I'm Hans the track limit again, and I'm explaining all the new gimmicks to overtake and how complicated it is. So that's a bit of a spoiler, but it's gonna be a banging episode because there's another huge creator, a guy that I've worked with before, and he's got a voice as well. So definitely go to Lollipop Man and hit that what do you call it, the bell icon, because as soon as that video comes out, you have to see it. It's gonna be massive. And there's Marie. Good morning, Marie. Have you had your coffee yet? Let me put this one a little bit more like this. Yes. Eva, you're talking about Drive to Survive, and the novelty of it is definitely gone. And the thing is that um, it's nice to see Jonathan Wheatley. He's a nice guy, but from seeing him, in interviews with Red Bull and on the Oracle Red Bull Racing YouTube page, I've seen loads of him. So yeah, it's fun to see him with his wife and stuff, and see what he's like. But I don't need to watch Drive to Survive to see those things. And then yeah, the whole Papaya Rules rivalry and Zach Brown and the whole building up to Christian Horner getting sacked, because I'm in episode 3 now and I think it happens in episode 4. Yeah. No, I'm going to give it a miss next season, I think. But the old seasons were a lot of fun. Definitely. So I'm just going to yap for couple more minutes to see if my regulars are coming in, like Hank and maybe Vegas. And then I'm just gonna get started. I've prepared one of those. Oh, I don't know why that keeps happening. Um, why the volume is so low on my OBS. It's annoying. Mm-mm-mm. Maybe this will help. I set it on 110%. So let me know if this is better when it comes to the volume. Okay, this is already big. Hey, there's Vegas. And Vegas is too busy running around to watch Netflix. Okay, and there's Karnau. Hello, Karnau. I think we have enough people to start. Hank will come in later. Okay, here's the media source. And this is what I prepared. Bold predictions. And my first bold prediction is Isaac Hadjar's first win. The thumbnail already predicted that. Um, but I expect Red Bull to be one of the top 3 teams. I think they're slightly better than McLaren at the start of the season. And I'm expecting them to keep on developing. I don't want to spoil too much of the rest of the episode or of the live stream. But I think Max will be fighting for wins. Maybe not straight from the from race 1, but halfway through the season they'll be right up there with the upgrades that they put on. And Isaac Hadjar, he's a good kid. He's feisty, and I think that with the whole grid having to get used to all the new regulations and the strange driving style and the energy saving and all that. The guys that used to be really good, they might struggle with that a little bit, and that makes a guy who's been in F1 only for a second year, it'll give him a benefit, and I think he's gonna, yeah, I think he's gonna benefit from other teams and other drivers struggling, and yeah, I think there's gonna be a crazy race where Max gets into a scrap with George Russell or something, and both of them need to go in for a new wing, and Hadjar happens to be there when I don't know, like the safety car, the crash causes, gives Hadjar the opportunity to pit, and it'll save him 12 seconds, and he'll be in the lead, and he won't give up the lead anymore. And a race like that's what I'm expecting. And that's why I think Hadjar is gonna win his first race, and everybody will be very happy, and they'll say that the second seat, the Red Bull second seat curse is fixed until they start upgrading like crazy again, and then it'll go more towards what Max can handle, and the car will get faster, and then it'll start all over again, I'm afraid. But for this season, Isaac Hadjar will get his first win. Let me see who else has come in. I see that Hellfish has come in. Hello, Hellfish. Where are you from? because it's the first time I'm seeing you here. And there's the Lonely Cyclist. Hello, Martin. Have you been cycling lately? I haven't seen any of your new videos. Oh, and Henk is there as well. Hello, Henk. This means we're complete with Henk here as well. Christina had DTS on as background noise. Yeah, I'm on my phone a lot as well when it's going on. Oh, you're from Argentina. I missed that. Oh, Hellfish, you're not going to like what I'm going to have to say about Cola Pinto. So, I hope I'm not getting any angry messages now. And there's Jasper. Has anybody got a comment about Hajar and his first win? Do you think it's going to be likely that he's going to win his first race, or do you think it's too bold? And guys, if you have like a related bold prediction, then just drop it in there. Aoife says the cars are going to be slow. That super clipping will be a thing, or was it super clipping? Whatever. Super skipping. Yeah, but I hear there's already talk about changing the battery power, or so it might happen for a race or two, and then hey, Martin, thank you so much. More members, and Hellfish got one. That's so nice. So Hellfish from Argentina has a membership. Plastic Gun, Arina Waller, S Yoko, we've seen that person before, and MVO6, and another bunch of numbers. Thanks, Martin. That really made my evening because, well, revenue was really low this month. Okay, let's go to the next one. Marie says, I think Hajar will surprise us all. Yes. In my predictions, I had him P8 in the overall standings. But I think that's pretty sensible because, with Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull having to divide all the points pretty much. Yeah, it makes sense to have him in P6, P7, P8 all the time, and that would get him after 24 races to like a little bit over 100 points, and that would see him be in P8, something like that. Oh, Eva has a supper. Enjoy your meal. The Lonely Cyclist says, welcome, Hans. Hans the track limit. Yep. Oh, Yoko is also back. Hello, Yoko. Yeah, it is always nice to see people in the chat getting memberships. Definitely. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. The next thing I've prepared. Bold prediction 2. Stroll, last place. Yeah, that's a little bit different than what I predicted before testing. But I'm pretty sure Aston Martin will get things going again. But by that time, Stroll will be so much behind, and he'll be so disillusioned, and his attitude will be so stinky that he won't be able to beat the guys in front of him. And I think he's going to be in last place for the majority of the season. Like in the end, like if in the last 6 races, Adrian Newey and Honda they have their shit together, then obviously he's going to score some points, and that will put him above the likes of Cadillac and Audi, who are completely pretty much new to this sport. But he'll be in last place for at least like 18 races this season, and um, yeah, if you go by the predictions, what we predicted last season, like Aston Martin, we have the new wind tunnels and all the new facilities, and they've got Adrian Newey and they've got Honda, and they're going to be amazing. But yeah, um, it all turns out to be very complicated. Adrian Newey is like a mad professor who's just running about changing things all over the place, making it very chaotic. Well, that's what I think anyway. And Honda, they're just a year behind because they said they were gonna stop doing Formula One, and then they decided to get back into Formula One, and they lost all their good staff. I've also heard that Adrian Newey said, "Hey, can you create the engine with a two-part solution because that would work?" And it turned out that it didn't work so far. So yeah, my prediction is that if the season starts really well, if the car is really good and the season starts well, then Stroll can do a lot of good racing. But if the season starts really poorly, then I think it'll just get worse and worse. Lance for the win. Never happen. Thank you so much for your contribution, Vegas. Much appreciated. Um, I just know that Lance Stroll, like, he's so spoiled and he's so used to getting his way. And what we've seen over the last 8, 9 years in Formula One is that when things don't go his way, he pulls a face like the picture that I've just posted, and he gets a bit of this attitude, and it's not the fighter's attitude; it's the attitude of hey, I'm not getting my way, and now I'm just not going to try anymore. Um, so it'll make whatever is going wrong with that Aston Martin car, it'll make it 5 times worse because his attitude stinks. That's my theory anyway. And yeah, lucky for the two Cadillac boys who will be finishing races in P20 and P19 and P18 now, and that will put them in front of Lance Stroll, who will finish in P22. So, let me go. Hey, what's this here? A super tanks of €12 from Inge. You're too kind, Inge, and I really missed you in the last 4 or 5 weeks. But I'm glad you're here. Like I feel we're getting the old team to back together. 20 people watching, nice. Um, Christina says, "Will my boy Lance finally realize he's sick of F1 and retire?" Yes, but he might be thinking, okay, we've got all these problems this season, so I'm just gonna, come to work and show up, and that's it. But next year will be our year because at Aston Martin they have that vibe as well. Um, and Gentili says, I think Lance Stroll, personal trainer, will get shoved around a lot this season. Yes, yes, but with no cameras there because that was bad PR. Hellfish says Lance on Brazil's drivers parade meme. It's hilarious. I don't think I've seen that, Hellfish. Uh, Inga calls me a kiss arse. Okay. I don't know how to react to that. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Yes. Did you see I started putting that in again? Because it made no difference for the views. So I might as well put the traditional thing in. And Hank says, next year, again. Yes, all the teams are going to be much better next season. Okay, I'm going to go to the next prediction, or bold prediction, yes. Bold prediction 3, Osama bin Russell will be back. Russell will be dealing with a young feisty teammate who's not afraid to crash with big names because he did it twice with Leclerc and once with Verstappen. So I'm expecting a bit of an inter-team rivalry, especially because I think, you know, Kimi Andrea will get used to the new regulations quicker or just as quick, and Russell, with being in the sport for 7 years, will have different muscle memories and stuff. So those two are going to get feisty, and then I'm expecting 4 teams to go for wins and podiums, and that means that Russell will be sharing front rows with Charles Leclerc, who doesn't back down, with Max, who doesn't back down, and with Kimi Antonelli, who doesn't back down. Piastri might be up there, who backs down. The only one he doesn't have to fear is Lando Norris, because he always loses a position or two when he starts. So, um, I'm expecting, especially if Russell wins a couple of races and he's in the lead, and he feels that pressure of having to perform to stay in the lead, and knowing that this is the chance for him to win a championship. I think he's gonna. They're gonna be races where he goes overboard, where he feels he has to prove he's worthy of that title, and he's gonna, yeah, he's gonna take space that isn't his, and then there's gonna be crashes, and he's gonna say stuff like, "He steered right into me," and then an explanation how it's not his fault, but it will be his fault because he's Osama bin Russell. And Tali Bontanelli, both of them, yeah, they're going to be good for quite a little bit of oomph. So it's going to be awesome. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to sit on a Sunday night typing angrily about what George Russell did, and then the title of the video will be, "What the fuck WTF did Russell do?" And it'll get me 60,000 views or 100,000 views. That's what we want. Jasper says, will he slap Kimmy in that case? I don't think he's going to be slapping anybody anymore. I think George Russell is somebody that reads all the social media comments, and every time he reads that he slapped Bottas' helmet and called him a prick, I think he just shudders a little bit. He's like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. Because he's all about PR, you know? Hit Mantonelli. Right, guys, give us your best nicknames for Antonelli and Osama bin Russell. Vega says, I don't get the analogy. I'm thick, though, so. Hank says, Osama bin Russell being back is no bold prediction. Russell, under pressure, is very likely to lose his cool. Yes, but Hank, don't you agree that we haven't seen that George last season? You know? And I think for a big part of 2024, we haven't seen that either. Um, so, yeah, he was never in a very important position championship wise, and that's why he probably turned it down a notch. But to see it come back, yeah, it's promising to be to be a good season if it happens. Tanvir says Torpedo Antonelli. Oh wait, somebody else said that. Osama just needs to keep his sidekick Torpedonelli away from Charles and Max. Yes. In Dutch, we call Russell a keffertje. I have to explain. Een keffertje is like a Chihuahua dog who has this little tiny little bark. That's a keffertje. Yeah, Hank, Russell wasn't under pressure for a few seasons. Okay, let's go to the next prediction. 26 minutes I've been going. Okay. Prediction number 4. Yes, I'm sorry, Hell. But what was the name again? Hellish. Hellfish. Sorry, Hellfish. But I think Flavio Briatore only put Colapinto in the team to collect the 30 million sponsor money from, what do you call him? Carlos Slim and all the other big South American sponsors or North American sponsors. And I think halfway through the season, after a few crashes and very little points, and Flavio is going to say, hey, I am the boss here. And if I say you fuck off, you have to fuck off. And I put in now the next driver. And the next driver will be in. And yeah, they're a commodity to him. You know, he was Jack Doohan's manager when he kicked him out after 6 races. So it might not even be Colapinto's fault. It's just Flavio is a businessman first, and then after that, sports person. And yeah, giving Colapinto that seat makes him collect all that money. And if he kicks him out, then he can put somebody else in, and they'll have different sponsors. And yeah, that'll be it for Franco Colapinto. But you know, see with my bold predictions, you don't have to agree. Yes, if you know, write in the chat, I think Franco Colapinto is going to score points in the first 6 races because he's brilliant, and he's going to beat Pierre Gasly. Then that's a bold prediction in itself, and I want to hear it. You know. Tanvir says that my accent is really good. Okay. It's old Italian. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding to ask me to do murder for money. I love The Godfather. Hey, Jackson Rodriguez. Well, Jackson, I'm doing fine. How are you? Do I know you? Where are you from? Hank says when money talks, bullshit walks. That's true. Ooh, Vegas has a good question. Do you think Flavio will make the whole season? I think Flavio is in a position where he just runs the show, and I don't think the Alpine and Renault organization can get rid of him easily. So I don't see Flavio getting sacked. Now, if you mean health wise, I think I heard him say on Drive to Survive that he's 74, so he should have another few years in him. But then I don't know if he had a healthy life, um, if he's been doing a lot of booze and drugs and women, then it might be difficult for him to make it to the rest of the year. Okay, Jackson's from the US. Well, welcome. We we're happy with people from all over the world, even from the US. Um, Jasper wants some tiramisu. My oldest boy, he loves tiramisu. So I'm always sending him tiramisu memes. You know. Okay. I'm gonna go to the next prediction. So that was Colapinto out, and prediction number 5: Lando, no wins. Now hear me out. If Mercedes has two drivers that can go for a win, yeah, and Ferrari has two drivers that can go for a win, yeah, Hamilton, Leclerc, and Red Bull has two drivers that, in my opinion, can both go for wins and podiums. Um, that means Lando Norris has to beat six drivers from another team and Piastri. And I don't see Lando Norris doing that, even if he gets the opportunity. Um, I just don't see that happening if McLaren doesn't have an outright dominant car. Because, let's face it, the wins that Lando Norris had in the past 2 years were with an extremely dominant car or luck. Because Piastri, if he had braked normally behind the safety car in Britain last season, then he would never have lost that position. And then Piastri would have won that race. And yeah, there were more situations where the situation favored Lando, and that's how he won. Like his very first win in 2024 in Miami was because of a safety car as well. So yeah, um, I don't see Lando Norris, if all the cars are pretty equal, um, getting a strategy where he has to make tires work for 40 laps to win the race. I don't see Lando getting that done. I don't see Lando being in a race where he gets an early pit stop and there's six cars in front of him that he needs to get rid of quickly. I don't see him doing that quickly enough to get the win. Whereas Piastri, he'd be able to do that. I think Russell and Hamilton and Leclerc, they are definitely capable of uh, forcing forcing a win. I think that's the best way to describe it. Um, the with McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes being pretty much equal, I don't think Lando Norris has the ability to force that win um, with just an outstanding performance and doing something crazy. Um, so yeah, I am. That's why I think Lando Norris will not win a race this season. Let me see. Jackson says, "Hey Wimbo, I hope Max stays in F1 for some time. Otherwise, F1 will lose its excellency." Well, I saw an interview today with Viaplay. That's the Dutch channel that does the Formula One broadcast, and she literally asked him, "How long are you going to be in F1 for?" And he said, "I hope I'm going to be in Formula One a really long time." Um, but if I don't like the regulations, then it's going to be harder. So I actually definitely think that uh, he's gonna keep on going until the end of 2028 because that's the end of his contract. And the Verstappen family, they're very loyal and they stick to what they say. You know, they're true to their word. And yeah, so that's the 26 season, 27 season, and 28 season, and then um, maybe if there's V8 engines coming in with only natural aspirated engines and no more batteries and stuff, if he looks forward to a new set of regulations that are coming in earlier, um, then he might stay even longer. But he also said that he's not going to stay in Formula One until he's 40. So, yeah. Uh, he's been in Formula One for over 10 years now. Yeah. His days in Formula One are. He's been in Formula One the longest time now. Um, mm, mm, mm. Christina says, so Horner to Alpine instead of Briatore. Yeah, like so far, Alpine is the only team that wants Horner and the money guys to buy into. But what I've heard as well now is that there might be an opening at Aston Martin to support Adrian Newey because, yeah, that man is up to his eyeballs creating a car and then running the team. And I think that would be a good duo, you know, Christian Horner for all the business stuff and the organization, and Newey just focus on the car. So let's see what happens. Marie says, "Ha ha ha! Lando won't like that. No, and his fans will hate it even more." And Hellfish says, "I think Franco's going to do way better this year. Can't be worse than last one." That's true. So I hope because you're from Argentina that you're right. Because I don't mind Colapinto. I think he's a nice kid. And Hank says, I think McLaren's good enough for Lando to get a win on occasion. Okay. And Eva says, Turbo Lag meets Lando Norris. It's going to be fun. Yes, well, I can just hear the radio conversations between Will Joseph and Lando. Like, no, you need to shift back in turn 7. But I don't know how to do it. I keep forgetting. Um, yeah, overtaking is going to be hard as well in these new regulations, from what I've heard. Jasper says, I'm really curious of what Norris is going to say when he ends up fourth in the standings. I actually have him lower in my predictions. I think I have him in P7 and Piastri in P6. Justin House. Justin House wants to know how many wins for Oscar. Oscar's going to get 2 wins. One in Australia and one in Baku to make up for last year. I'm just reading all the comments here. Hey, there's Polish Eddie. Hello, Eddie. How you doing? Yeah, I've read everything, but I'm going to go to the next one. Bold prediction number 6. This one is going to hurt for Christina. Um, Now, what do I mean with Ferrari decline? I think Ferrari will come out. Um, they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to knock it out of the park the first, say, 6 to 8 races. The car's solid. The drivers are solid. If the car's good, then Ferrari or the strategy won't play too big a part, and the reliability is good. They've had a few clever innovations, so Ferrari's going to be grand. But then all the other teams start developing, and teams that are lacking with engines, like for instance Honda, after 6 races, I believe, they're allowed to upgrade their engines to keep it all level because the FOM and FIA have realized that what happened in 2014 when Mercedes had a dominant engine and to leave it like that for 6-7 years, that wasn't the solution for a good championship. So teams get the opportunity to upgrade their engines as well if they're a little bit behind. Um, some teams will have seen what Ferrari has done with their tricks to make certain things work, and they're going to copy it. So, yeah, I think Ferrari's going to lose out on the development race against the other teams. And I've seen this before, like in 2022, uh, they were really fast as well, and it was Leclerc and Verstappen going for most of the wins, and um, there was a bit of a title fight going on then. But then, yeah, Red Bull won the development war after that, and I think when the Ferrari car starts lacking a little bit, then the strategy team has to work harder, and they're gonna be making mistakes, and then especially Lewis Hamilton will get frustrated, and then the communication problems will start again, and then yeah, you'll see them dropping off. Yeah, you'll see the whole team dropping off again, and that's what I mean with Ferrari decline. Jasper says so. Ferrari would be like 2022, basically. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Um, Hank says Ferrari Hopium is maxed out now. The Glory Labs worked. Yes, but Hank, can they really do Glory Labs on a car that is not functioning? You know, like I've watched most of the testing, and um, the car looked balanced, and um, I just didn't see any funny business. Now I'm no expert in it, but I can tell if a car is shit or when it's good, you know. And the Ferrari car, the SF26, is a good car, but it'll lose the development race. Um, Cornell says, "Me being a Brit, I like Charles Wynn over Ham." Yeah, as a Dutchman, I do agree with that. But also, like, I don't mind Lewis Hamilton that much anymore. I think he, after not winning for a while, he's mellowed out a lot, and I can handle him much better. Um, so I want to see Hamilton do okay, just enough for him to say that was a decent season, but I'm gonna quit. I'll give Behrman my seat, and then they're gonna be amazing next season. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, let's go to the next bold prediction, number 7. I've got 8. Yeah. Bold prediction number 7. Williams fallout. Okay, hear me out. Um, Williams is kind of struggling. The car is too heavy, and yeah, there are all kinds of issues. They're they're not where they want it to be. And then with four teams being so good already, all the fights are going to be in the middle of the midfield, which is pretty much the hardest place to be. Um, with Carlos being used to the team now, there's going to be a battle between Albon and Carlos Sainz. And I think there's going to be races where those two drivers are going to fall out with each other. And then um, James is going to have to sort that all out, over the radio. Alex, this is James. What you did there was not right. Carlos, this is James. You have to give back the position to Alex because this is what we discussed. That's the sort of stuff that I'm expecting. And I also expect those two guys to be headstrong enough to say, I'm not doing that because reasons. So, yeah, I'm expecting Albon and Carlos Sainz to be in each other's road an awful lot, and it'll cause friction. And that's why I think there's going to be a Williams fallout, but not like the Civil War or anything. There's going to be incidents, and then they're going to discuss it, and it'll be okay. And then 4 races later, it happens again, but it's going to be okay. You know, like I think even Carlos and Charles have fallen out with each other a little bit in certain races, and the team didn't help with asking strange things to different drivers as well. And then Carlos said, "Stop inventing." But yeah, um, I can see that happening, and I don't think a lot of people are expecting this to happen, and that's why it's a bold prediction. Vegas says Sir Lewis Hamilton will press Charles for points and performance. Chuck will answer, but who knows? Well, uh, two really good teammates, they push each other to a higher level, so that's possible. Christina says Charles doesn't like to lose against teammates, so it will push him even more. Yep. And Jackson has a question again. Hey Wimbo, how much do you think Max can make up against the next fastest driver in the same car? 3 tenths? No, 3 seconds. It's Max. Um, yeah, it's hard to say, but I just know that if Hannah Smith comes up with a strategy to pit really early and then do a one stop and make tires work the whole race, and Max has to drive 131s all race long, 40 laps, then he can do it, you know, and he'll stay out of the fights all race long, and then in the end, he's the one that wins, for instance. And that's not because he's then literally three tenths quicker than anybody else, but uh, he's just able to lean on the tires in a way to go fast and keep them in one piece. For instance, um, Jonas. That's another name that I haven't seen before. Uh, Jonas says Carlos Slim didn't put a dime for Franco. Franco comes from a country 8,000 miles away from Slim. Okay, I have to Google that. Shit's just got real here. Carlos Slim sponsors Colapinto. Okay. Carlos Slim's telecom company, Claro, is sponsoring Franco Colapinto. Yes? So, Jonas, thank you for your contribution. but you're wrong. Eva says Sir Lewis Kardashian. Uh, oh, one of the cats wants to come in. Hello. Hey, Trixie. Oh, thank you, Vegas. I didn't expect a second contribution. Thank you so much. Um, Christina says, yes, it will come, but hurt Carlos after Miami in DTS was funny. Um, oh, was that last year or is that this season? Because maybe I didn't get to that episode yet. Trixie, what is it? Come. Okay, I've got one more prediction because it's 9 minutes. And prediction 8 is Arvid clears Lawson. From what I've been hearing about Arvid Lindblad is that he's a real proper talent, and that's why he's in Formula One already, being super young. She wants to go out again. And yeah, as you all know, that I'm not a big fan of Liam Lawson. Um, he's I think they put him in there to be the benchmark for Arvid Lindblad. Um, and Yuki Tsunoda was the benchmark for Ricciardo, for Nick De Vries, for Liam Lawson, for all the teammates that Yuki Tsunoda had all those years because he was in the junior team for 5 seasons. And that's why they said, look, Yuki's been doing that position for so long now. Let's make him a reserve driver. And then he's close to Formula One and he can find himself another job maybe. Because I hear Haas are interested because there's a big Japanese connection there. And that's why Liam Lawson got the gig of benchmark for the new young driver. But if Lindblad beats Liam Lawson, then they can put another junior driver in his place next season, and then Lindblad will be the benchmark, and they can get him ready for the Red Bull seat. Um. So yeah, I um. I don't know what type of driver Lindblad is, but I hear he's feisty and he's very talented and a typical Red Bull driver. So I'm expecting a lot of good stuff from him for as far as he can show it in that V Carb. But that's why it's important for him to be measured up against Liam Lawson. And it'll be Liam Lawson's final season. And then I don't know if there's any Kiwis left in Formula One for a while. You know? Um, Liam Lawson, Arvid, no, what do you call him? Brendan Hartley. And then nothing for a while. Okay. Marie says, where's your beautiful Samantha? She's there. And Martin wants to know no Max prediction. No, like what's a bold prediction about Max? That he's going to win the World Championship? That he's not going to win the World Championship? No. Like, Martin, do you have a bold prediction about Max? Is he going to win 11 in a row this season? Like all the other stuff that he's already done. Hank says, in an interview lately, Lawson admitted he didn't know what happened in the time between cruising around and hitting a wall. Quite disturbing. Um, yeah, that is quite disturbing. That you don't know how a big crash happens. That's something that needs to be looked at. So those were my 8 bold predictions. I'm gonna, yeah. See, here's me asking if you wanna like the video, the live stream. Um, maybe halfway through the season, or maybe at the end of the season, I can get this little video I made, and then we'll go through it again to see how wrong I am, or how right I was. Hopefully. Um, I don't have any videos planned because um, Mother's Day, English Mother's Day, is one of the busiest times in the year for my flower business, my normal day-to-day business, and it's Mother's Day on the 15th of March. So all the lot from the UK, Jasper's from the UK, I believe. Who else from the UK in my chat? Kernow, write that down. Buy your mom a bunch of flowers for the 15th. But anyway, I'm gonna be busy up to my eyeballs, and Samantha as well, from I don't know Wednesday the 4th, and I'll not be able to create any videos around that time. Maybe I'll rip this live stream into a long form video, but then you guys have already seen it, so there's no point for you to watch it unless you want to support me. Yeah, and then as soon as the busy time is over, then I'm just gonna pump in 3 videos a week and a live stream every week, and doing all the stuff that I always do, because then the busy times until Christmas are over. Easter's a little bit busy, but not crazy busy. And yeah, keep an eye out on that Lollipop Man video, mate, because I'll be in it unless he cuts my lines. But let's see. Okay, let's go to chat one last time. Lonely Cyclist says, okay, bold prediction. Red Bull Racing will surprise everyone and Max will extend his podium streak with 3 wins in a row. Nice. God. Twitter will explode. All the haters will jump up again. Hank says, I hold nothing against you, Wimbo. No. We've been friends for a long time now, Hank. Yes, I'm gonna close the book on the bold predictions. And I wish you all a happy race week next weekend. Or next week. And I'll see you all later. Take care now. Doei doei.